Ding, ding, ding. It took a whole lot of technical fuckery. But we are here, and this is just an Aridonis podcast. Thank you. Who are you?
I'm Miss T, also known as Icarus the Rapper. I just want to say thank you once again for this incredible opportunity. I really I appreciate being here.
I'm humbled by your appreciation because, yeah, this is just kind of a thing I do in a very non-glamorous way. So I appreciate.
I think it's sick, dude.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun to just kind of chat with people in this context, you know, and
no kidding,
just kind of dig into what makes them tick, you know. But yeah, so thanks again for being here. I got a cup of PlayStation coffee.
Ooh, I got one of these sucking lemons. Breakfast of champions.
Partying, yeah. You had a late night. You were making music all night and hanging out in VR. You were saying?
Yeah, VR chat.
I've yet to partake too hard. A couple of my brothers have like Oculus setups, and
yeah, I actually. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I actually had a fan send me an Oculus.
Oh, cool.
So I've been jamming on that every chance I get.
That's awesome. Yeah. So do you subscribe to the metaverse future, or are you?
I don't think it's Facebook's metaverse that's gonna be the metaverse future.
Nobody does. Yeah, I don't think
Honestly,
Facebook even honestly does.
At this point, it's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
Like Facebook could do it, but I don't know. When your avatars don't even have legs, I feel like the immersion is a little cut short.
And also just nobody trusts big ass tech monopolies like they did even 5 years ago.
I don't know if Microsoft released a metaverse where you upload your brain to the cyberspace. I might trust that.
It's weird how I know what you mean. Like, I trust Microsoft for some reason. Maybe it's just I don't trust them, I guess. Like, nobody. It's not wise to trust any billion-dollar company. But
I was just thinking, at least you can mod your VR on a Microsoft console.
Yeah, it's been a turbulent ride in terms of like. I don't know if you're in the same age group I am, but like I came up when Facebook was kind of at its peak when I was in like high school, and
that was middle school for me.
Yeah.
I still had a Facebook account, the same one I'm using now, actually.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like, yeah, they're just this cool company, and you can play Farmville, and like it was all very innocent. And then like over the years, like the more you learn about just Zuckerberg and the whole culture, it's just like, oh, you've totally rotted away the core of our society in like 2 decades. Gross.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
No kidding though. Like everybody's on TikTok now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my mom just got TikTok.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's a sign of things to come, I think. But at the same time, everybody's also got all of these. They've got their opinions about what TikToks do. So it's all just going straight to the Chinese government. I'm like, man, I don't care.
Oh my god, I heard the craziest conspiracy the other day.
Oh.
They were talking about how the Chinese government has used TikTok to lower the IQ of the North American and European user base.
I've heard a similar thing.
Giving them dreams of like being able just to dance and make money off of it.
I saw a similar thing because you look at the front page on TikTok's banned in China, I believe. Like they've got a different version of the app over there. It's not TikTok, it's something else. But they've got you look at their For You pages and stuff, and it's like little kids doing like science projects and like doing cool shit. But then when you look at the same sort of similar user data in North America, it's just like people twerking and like doing dumb shit, and those are kind of like the more popular videos. And it's just kind of, I don't know that it's necessarily intentional. I'm willing to believe that 30 years of crap like American Idol and stuff like that has just made North Americans dumb enough that that's just what was going to happen anyway. I mean, if it was intentional, well played, I guess.
Well played indeed. They're over here playing like 4D chess underwater.
Yeah, exactly.
We're over here playing with like fucking checkers.
Yeah, not even. We've got like, we've got a coin to flip.
It's Flappy Bird at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's Flappy Bird. I was like, that was do you remember when people were like, when Flappy Bird got taken off the App Store and people like that had Flappy Bird on their devices were like, I'm going to sell this iPhone that's got Flappy Bird on it for $1,000, and stuff like that. It's
crazy that you mentioned that because we brought that up last night in VR chat. We were talking about how like one of our friend group has an old iPod with Flappy Bird on it.
Oh,
still.
Yeah. That's.
And I was like, you could have sold that for like big bucks.
It was, that was one of those. You missed out on that craze. I think I don't know who's still out there hunting for that. I've been looking for something to fall in my lap on Facebook Marketplace, and it was this little toy I had. It was like it was one of the like Digimon like detector like devices, but it was also like a crap. What were those things like the little keychain monsters? Tamagotchi. It was like a Tamagotchi, but like Digimon. And I had one,
sick.
Yeah, and I had one when I was a kid, and you could like battle with it and like feed it, and you had to like take care of your and like hatch egg and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like it got stolen or something, and I ended up with nothing. But every now and then I'm like, I wonder if that cool little toy is still cool if I were to nostalgia my way into one of those.
Oh my god! So I lost my Game Boy Advanced in 3rd grade class one day because I was like, dumb kid. I was bringing my games to school and playing them in the middle of class like some sort of idiot. And I lost it for years. I was like, okay, it's just gone. Yeah. And then I was over at a friend's house. Like 5 or 6 years later, and his little brother has the same same scratches on the back, and I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, you filthy child!
What do you say there? You can't say anything.
Yeah. How dare you? Yeah, that's when you start drama.
It was my fault. I shouldn't have been playing it in class.
Sure. Yeah. I wonder if there's just like a lost and found at some like middle school somewhere that's just like full of like a treasure trove of like DSs and Game Boys and stuff that have been confiscated and then just like never picked up.
Oh my god, my high school would be my Bong collection. Just chilling in
the early vintage years. On that note,
no kidding.
Yeah. So you're rapping and making stuff, and you're based over on the island, correct? What's your sort of day-to-day sort of musical output looking like these days?
Well, I try to get in the studio at least 5 days a week for 12 hours a day, but lately it's been a little difficult.
Right. That's a lot. So what kind of do you work from like a studio that like you have control over, or do you just work with friends, or how's that work for you?
Well, so a year or two ago, two of my best friends since like middle school started up like a legitimate rap label.
Cool.
And at that point, I had released 36 hours of music on SoundCloud, and they were like, "Look, you are seriously making music over here." Like, it wasn't, in my opinion, and like probably a lot of other people's opinion, my music on SoundCloud wasn't that good.
Right.
But yeah, I have like a hankering to write music all the time.
That's awesome. And so what sort of subject matter do you like to cover in your writing?
Yeah, so I like to keep it pretty legit. I talk about things that like I've personally experienced. So I'll talk about like my relationship to substances, or my love life, or like my mental health, and just try to be as creative as possible with it, as well as like try to keep focused on like the goal and my dreams and everything I want to do, as well as try to keep like a positive like repertoire of just reminding my listeners that like even if things are at their like worst, like even if they're the worst, they will get better if you put your mind to it and put effort into trying to live your life like the best. Like I've been homeless a couple times in my life. I'm doing really well now, right now, but while I was homeless, I had a couple overdoses, as well as like pretty hard standing psychosis, and that was a lot of the root of like my music. I just didn't stop. I couldn't stop because like what else was I gonna do? I was also attending school for I was on my way to law school, but I had to drop out of that because like my mental health couldn't keep up with it, and I've never been good at school either.
That's yeah, so that's a lot of heavy stuff. So I can see where music would be the big sort of savior in that case. Like you see that a lot with people.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I really like to have like some songs like that are really really positive. Like really like I've got a stupid little song called like My Happy Place. Everybody in the studio hates it, but I just love it to bits and pieces.
You got to lean into the cheese sometimes.
Exactly. And like I'm really open to exploring all different styles of rap in my music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have thematic sounds that I'll use. However, I really want to conquer all styles of rap eventually by the time I'm like 90 or something.
Yeah. A minute to learn, a lifetime to master. Yeah.
No kidding.
So, in terms of like production and stuff like that, do you mostly produce the music yourself, or you're working? I know you're working with your friends on your label and stuff, but do you also like to just get your hands deep and make your own beats and stuff like that?
So, I'm not very good at music mathematically. I'm a dyscalculate. However, I've been doing music for the past 10 years. I used to play bass. I played for a church band. And then I had my own band in high school. And then in high school is when I started working on rap. And so recently I made the beat for 2 of my songs that are out on my Spotify. One of them being New Chain, which I really enjoy. Like I hear good things about the beat on that one. People don't like the auto tune too much though, which is brutal. Shipping out $300 for fucking nobody likes it.
Well, I mean, there's 2 ways things can go. Either it's the right thing going to the wrong people, or it's the wrong thing going to the right people, you know? So you just got to find the people.
Exactly. And like I want to have such a versatile sound that like I'll have a song for everybody.
Do you find that to be a sort of a hindrance in your marketing? Because I know like I make sort of pop music, but I bounce around from like I put out 2 songs this year so far, and one's like an indie pop electronic song and one's like an acoustic song. And so I find it really difficult to like really focus in and find an audience for everything that I make, because it's so diverse. So it means I kind of have to like target the audience I'm looking for every time. Like it feels like I'm starting over every single time I release some music. Do you find that sort of when you put stuff out, but being so diverse in what you do?
Well, the music that I have out right now isn't as diverse as I'd like to be. The music that we're working on in the studio right now has like I got a club banger that's coming out sometime this year, hopefully, and I've got like a alt rock kind of song that should be coming out probably next Valentine's.
Cool.
Personally, I haven't given much like it sounds stupid, but I haven't given much thought into trying to market for a direct audience, because I think that, and this might just be really bloated of myself, but I think that if people find my music and find just one song that they like, then they like me, and then if they like me, then maybe they'll like something else, right?
That's awesome, because that's kind of the attitude I wish I could take, because that's the thing is I've tried, once you dip your toes into the marketing side of it, that's when the whole music process for me gets tainted, right? So it's been this really frustrating process of like, you get this sort of negative response when you make something that you're really proud of, and then you put it out to a group of people, or you try to find a group of people that like it, and you don't necessarily find it, and then it creates this sort of negative interaction with the music, because you're like, oh man, I was so proud of that, but I just couldn't make it stick with the people I was looking for, and then it makes me second guess every single decision I make when I'm trying to write and stuff like that, and then I end up having to take a break. So good on you for keeping that attitude. Keep that attitude as long as you can.
Thank you. I plan to. Yeah. I really love music and doing what I do as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll sit down for like 14-hour periods just like practicing and writing songs. And I really enjoy what I do, and I'd like to put every bit of effort that I can into developing my craft as best that I can do it in a way that I can do it. So I don't think I could ever lose this lust that I have for writing rhymes.
Well, that's just that's how you know it's never gonna stop. It's gonna be sort of a powerful thing in your life. Because it's obviously something that's been not just like a creative outlet, for when you're sitting around, but it's like gotten you through tough times. So it's kind of hard to
insanely tough time.
It's kind of hard to let something like that go,
Absolutely. Well, I've made this promise to so many people that I will never retire. Like, if I get cerebral palsy or something and can't rap anymore, just put me out of my misery. Just put me down.
I've said
no offense to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've thought about the same thing. Like, if I were to, I got a friend of mine, Jack Thomas, who he's a drummer all around Vancouver, and he lost an arm in an industrial accident when he was a teenager, and so he's been drumming with one arm ever since. And it's just like, it's just this really inspiring sort of
absolutely like persevere if you can. I was just thinking if I'm chilling like Stephen Hawking's and I have to write raps through a vocal corder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then that's just how it's going to be. And we're getting to the point now where it's like, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but in the last like that season of Obi-Wan Kenobi that just came out, they had
I loved Kenobi.
They had the Darth Vader voice was AI. It was or partially at least. It was
that's incredible.
So they took James Earl Jones's voice and like ran it through some computer shit and were able to like type it out. They were doing the same thing in Mandalorian with Mark Hamill, but because they had like the CGI face, it was kind of weird, like sounded strange, and it was kind of like uncanny valley creepy to me. But the Darth Vader voice has been they've been synthesizing it. I'm like, if they're there now, it's gonna get to the point where it's like people who maybe struggle with speaking could suddenly learn to sing.
Then I may never retire.
Exactly. If you just head into the metaverse. So you've got obviously a ton of music that you're putting together, and it seems like you put together, obviously when you're putting in the amount of work you do, you've come away with a lot of stuff. How often do you kind of have an idea that goes nowhere and just let it go, or how often do you make every idea work eventually?
I try to. I really try to. And my goal is like, if it doesn't work now, it'll work later. Like, I'll have the right, like, not saying that my team isn't right now, but I'll eventually have like the right team and the right time and the right sound.
Right.
It has to, because like I love everything that I've been doing. If I write something like really awful, like
Yeah.
then I might just like scrap it.
Right, but that does happen. It's not like you've you persevere on every single idea and release every single thing without, unfiltered kind of, right?
I did with my SoundCloud, which is where I heed warning. It was like just me every day, just
stream of consciousness.
Like I have to make music.
That's awesome. Well then, so when you're putting out that much stuff, like, do you find it difficult sort of scheduling all of that? Do you find, like you just said, you got a song scheduled for next February, which is like 10 months away or something, right?
Well, it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out like the month after Valentine's, like the month after February, like this year or last year.
Time's weird now.
Yeah, I don't even know, dude. Like I spend so much time just focused and devout to like two things. It's like my friend group and like that I consider my family, and my music.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so there's a but yeah, you've got like a pretty deep schedule of tracks coming out for the next little while then.
Oh yeah. And we're making more every day. Like we've been kind of stressed out at like in the label, because we originally promised to release a project every Saturday for the entire year.
Oof.
Which I made songs, like I've written songs for. However, there was just too much like time scheduling, working with other artists.
Oh yeah.
And like I also ghostwrite for the label. So it got to a point where like one of my producers was like, "This is pretty much impossible. We gotta like buckle down," because we're still working on. I have a song called "Sweet Cheeks" that's coming out sometime this year, hopefully, and it's the club banger that I was talking about. And we got all the recording and like beat making done for it in one day, but there was so much product that we had to work with. It's still being mixed to this day.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing with every single project I've ever worked on, is just like, oh man, this is so much more, and especially when you get into the mindset of wanting to do it right. Like there's times where you're like, I'm just gonna set a deadline, and when that day comes, that's when it comes out, but then there's other times where you're like, no, I can't let this be anything less than what I want it to be,
I'm losing you.
Oh no.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Internet is not awesome today for whatever reason. Well, I mean, this was the week that all of Canada got DDoSed, basically.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was like, man, I need to take out cash, I guess, to live my
I didn't
life.
even know what happened, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was chilling and I was looking at TikTok and people are like, Rogers is down, and I'm like,
same thing, same exact same issue. I'm definitely curious to know a little bit more about what your like live performance sort of looks like.
oh, I wish, man. The only live performance that I've been doing recently is freestyling in VR chat. I was supposed to perform at a addictions and mental health fundraiser coming up in August, but I don't have the released content right now to do that, unfortunately. And I in the time that I had set aside to like make extra content for that, I had like mine, like my music's just like would be too triggering at the moment. But I had set time apart, and then I got a freaking staph infection for a month.
Oof, the worst.
That was awful.
Yeah. Well, but you do intend on kind of, performing. Do you have any sort of plans on like touring any of the stuff you're putting together? Like maybe not solid, but intentions?
I really hope so. I would like to tour across the world, like as much as possible. Like start small and go big, right?
Yeah.
But like right now with where my music's at and my current skill level, like I'm reading everything that I'm doing, like, or unless it's a freestyle, and like I've gotten pretty good at reading that fast. Like I can read Star Wars the whole front part like through and quick. But yeah, I had originally set apart like a whole month just to practice the songs that I was gonna do for this like 3-song set list that I was supposed to perform. And unfortunately, like life happened, and I don't think I'll be able to, but I'm still hoping on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, as long as it's like something you still want to do, right? I've been.
It absolutely is. Like I completely support people's choices and struggles with their substance use and their mental health, because the two go hand in hand.
Of course, yeah. No, it's something I've not. I personally haven't had experience with, but I've sort of been helping some friends through at the occasional time, and it's such a dark part of how our society's kind of shook out, you know, and it sucks that it would be so easily preventable, you know, if more people.
No kidding. It's so toxic, the way that our society has built up this like killing machine of like, oh well, you better just not use because you'll die. It's like it like my aunt died. Like I was really close with my aunt. Like we were living together, we were doing like we were partying all the time, and she died last year, and I have an overdose, and I've written a couple songs, but it doesn't really change the fact that like I'm pissed off that the system that we have forces poisonous drugs into the ecosystem.
Yeah, the economy or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. It's really dumb, because like if we just had made like a trading deal with Colombia and like got regulated, tested product that is sold in a safe manner, no one would be dying. Well, that's not true, but like how many people die of alcohol poisoning in a year? Right?
Yeah, and it's very freely accepted. There's that TikTok trend that's going around, or it's like what's a scam that's so normalized that that we don't even think of it as a scam anymore. And this guy was just like talking about alcohol. It's it's just kind of how it's so threaded into our society. It's versus everything else, you know.
I was reading somewhere that psilocybin is like one of the reasons why humanity has pattern recognition, yet that's illegal, and it's almost impossible to overdose on mushrooms unless you're eating the Mario ones.
Right. It's the culture is I think it's ready to shift a little bit, and you know, hopefully we get some representation in those cases in like government and stuff like that to kind of help control a lot of those things. But you know, there's a lot of work to be done in every single social sector.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like progress is being made. You know, they just legalized like 2.5 grams of like any substance in. Well, I think it'll be legalized by like next year, but they just passed that bill.
In BC, yeah, which is like a North American first, I believe.
I believe Oregon also.
Oh, okay, yeah,
also did that.
Definitely Canadian first, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Yeah, things are things are looking forward some places, you know, looking backwards in others. But you know, I'm.
Oh my God! No kidding. The whole like, I'm not gonna get too deep into it because I don't want to get controversial. But the whole abortion thing in the States, ridiculous. Like actually disgusting.
Yeah, I think I think that a lot of the music community that I've talked to has been kind of on the same page there. Super bummer. But
no kidding. Like, how can you have like claim to be the freest country in the world when you take away like half the rights of a woman? Like not saying that like that's the amount of women's rights, but like if you can't choose whether to remove a child that was forcefully put in you, it's fucking disgusting.
yeah, I know. Like, just like to have anything to do where it's like a consenting doctor and a consenting human, regardless of what they're doing, if they're all like that should be the beginning and end of it in a free society, you would think. But
no kidding.
that's friggin' the way it shook out, I guess. But yeah, I as a Canadian, you kind of grow up, or at least I grew up. You go down to the States to like go shopping. You don't really, you go on vacation to
You don't
Disney,
live there, dude.
Disney
Like,
World.
fuck that.
You don't live there. But as a kid growing up, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, America's just kind of the same. It's just kind of another North American thing. And more and more things are departing, living as a Canadian and living as an American. It's like and a part of like, as you get more and more into internet culture and see into like the day-to-day lives of just what some of the crap that Canadians deal with on a day-to-day basis is like a drop in the ocean to being in the same situation in some states.
No kidding. Like, it's just ridiculous to think that, like, yeah, as a child, you're like, oh, dude, we're neighbors. We're like the same thing. Yeah. And then as you get older, you're like, wow, the United States is kind of messed up.
Yeah. Like,
I think Canada is starting to lean towards more being like a European country.
I hope so. I hope we can kind of continue on that path. We've got a little bit of a, we learned with like the Freedom Convoy and stuff like that we've got, our own issues, and we're learning, with all our trying to make our indigenous history right and all of that stuff. These are all
absolutely
issues.
I was shocked and horrified. Like, I'm indigenous myself. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, how could you keep this like under wraps for so many years? Such a like deplorable actions that had happened.
I mean, at the same time, like it's a very, I think we could be so much more of a country and so much more of a culture than just fucking hockey and donuts, and now we've got, we don't just have to be the fucking maple syrup people.
Maple bacon's pretty good though. Like,
absolutely,
I will,
but it's like that shouldn't be our whole personality is, polite and makes maple syrup. We've got so much more, and I think we've got a lot of really ugly work, and yes, absolutely, deplorable shit to deal with. But I'm glad it didn't get to the point where it was just an entire culture entirely deleted. And I'm
absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's really unfortunate, like that genocide is a thing that humans have like done
such a recent phenomenon,
time and time again, and continued to do.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, big heavy topics we got onto there. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Have you got some music coming out in the near future? Any plans to you've been performing on VR chat? Is that something you kind of want to do frequently, or is that something you do regularly?
Well, I've started using VR chat as a method to try to better network and build connections and meet new people. Mm-hmm. Just because like COVID kind of shut everything down, mm-hmm. and like now it's kind of weird when you're going out because like everybody's pretty much antisocial.
Yeah. There was a bit of a sap on everybody's social skills, and I feel it to this day. Where can people kind of plug in to find all the label info? Can they follow you and?
So if they want my music, I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have I'd even make my Snapchat public, which I'm doing in a song actually.
Cool.
and I'm on all streaming platforms except YouTube and funny enough SoundCloud with my more recent stuff. The label said I can't upload to SoundCloud anymore.
Well, win some, you lose some. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'll probably have a couple tracks that end up popping up over there.
Of course, yeah, or maybe alternate versions or something. But
well, there are old songs that I want to redo. Like I was saying earlier, like not every song works in the moment.
Of course.
And it's just finding the right time and right equipment.
Well, yeah, that's super exciting, and it's been awesome chatting with you and kind of getting to see what makes what you're doing tick. And I appreciate you dealing with all the weird technical issues of trying to stage this call.
Don't even worry about it.
It's been it's been super inspiring to hear your story and hear about all the prolific stuff you're working on. So what's the number one social for people to try and find you on?
Find me on my Insta.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be posting all the links and all that stuff in the description for people to track you down. And yeah, it's been super awesome chatting with you, and hope to chat with you again soon.
Super awesome to chat with you too.
Yeah,
I hope so. It's been my pleasure.
Awesome. All right. Well, peace.
Hasta luego.